Hello, I welcome you to my channel, The Complete CSC Guide, and I am Sanskriti, your guide. Now, in today's class, we will study another topic of our networking, that is about data link layer. So, in data link layer, there are many other layers are also there, but today we will have an introduction as well as we will study about the addressing, how the addressing is done in data link layer. Okay, so it's about the introduction and addressing, how the addressing is done in our data link layer. Okay, so about data link layer, what are the functions of data link layer? I have already discussed in the OSI model video. You can see that one and have the knowledge of that. Okay, so today only I am giving you a small introduction and about the addressing I will tell you everything. Okay, so first of all, a small introduction about your data link layer. What we have studied previously, I have told you many things about it, but today I will give you a very small introduction. Okay, so introduction is, it's the second layer from bottom. I hope you have learned about all the layers and you have memorized that one. So physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and your application layer. So these were the 7 layers. Now from the bottom, the second layer is our data link layer, right? So it is the second layer, but from the bottom. If it is asked which layer is data link layer, the number which number is data link layer, so it's second layer from the bottom, right? And it transmits frame from one node to the next. So whenever you are told about data link layer, I will give you a chart by which whenever you will see which layer works, whatever function it have, so you will have the full knowledge from a small chart. I will give you that one. Okay, so in next class I will give you that one. So in that particular chart you will see that data link layer basically is related to frames. Whenever you will see data link layer questions, anywhere you will see that question in your competitions or in your semester, you will naturally, the thing which will come in your mind, that will be frames. Okay, data link layer is related to frames, right? So it is transmitting one frame, it's just transmitting frame from one node to another node. So the data, the way or the form of data which it is transferring or transmitting, that is your frames, right? Now framing, what were the functions of data link layer? Framing, physical addressing, flow control, error control, and media access control. So these were basically the functions, and I have given you the description of each and every function in that particular video of OSI model. You can see there. Okay, now next is two kinds of links are there. Here up to this the functions. Now two kinds of links are there which is basically used in our data link layer. Two kinds of links, right? First one is our point to point link. As from the name you can easily understand, point to point, it is one to one connection, right? And the second one is, that is your broadcast link. Broadcast means when sender is sending, it is sending to many receivers, that it is broadcasting, right? So point to point means me to you, the one to one connection. But when it is broadcasting, I am sending the data and it is being transmitted to all the receivers, right? So two kinds of links. So point to point link dedicated to two devices, that is the sender and the receiver. So it is dedicated between two devices. And broadcast link means links shared between several pair of devices, two devices and several pair of devices. Here there are several pair of devices can be there, sender and receiver. So the number of pairs can be several, but here only one to one dedicated link is present. So this is about the two links, the point to point link and the broadcast link, about this data link layer. Okay, now next is sub layers. What are the sub layers of data link layer? Data link layer itself is a layer of our OSI model. Now in this data link layer again two layers are there. So these two layers are known as the sub layers of our data link layer, right? So what are those? One is data link control, that is DLC, and media access control, that is MAC. Okay, so these are the two sub layers. data link control and media access control. Here also you have seen in the function also we have studied about the media access control. So obviously two kinds of sub layers are there in our data link layer, that is our data link control and media access control, that is MAC. You have heard about MAC address also. I hope you have heard about the MAC address. So that MAC is related to this data link layer, right? That is your media access control. The full form of MAC is media access control and DLC is data link control. Okay, so these are basically the two sub layers of our data link layer, right? Now next we will see about the both the layers, sub layers. Okay, so first one is our DLC. It deals with all the issues common to both point to point as well as broadcast link. When we are working with DLC, the data link control, it will work with both the point to point link as well as the broadcast link. So whichever link you are working on, this DLC will deal with the issues related to those links, that is the point to point and your broadcast link. So these two links, whenever you are using, obviously the issues related to these two links will be handled by this DLC, but in your MAC it will only deal with the specific issues of your broadcast link. So MAC is always related to your broadcast link and DLC is related to both the point to point as well as the media address as well as your broadcast link. So it is for both, but this is for only the broadcast link, right? Now this is about the whole data link layer introduction. This one is the introduction, its links and its sub layers. This is the basic introduction. Now we will go for the addressing portion. Okay, so how the addressing is done in our data link layer, let's see. So addressing, data link layer addresses sometimes this link layer address, this data link layer, here the address is called link layer address, that is your link layer address. Okay, so this link layer address, when you are talking about the data link layer addresses, those are called as link layer addresses, right? And they have some other names also. In the examination, whether it's your competitive examination or whether it's for your semester examinations, any viva, anything, they can be asked in different forms. Their names can be in different forms. So don't ever just confuse with the names. Okay, so the link layer address, sometimes they are called as link address, sometimes they are called as physical address, and sometimes they are called as MAC address, right? So basically these things are only the names of this link address, that is your data link layer. These addresses, the name of the addresses can be your link layer address, link address, physical address or your MAC address. So if in any examination these names comes in any form, don't get confused over the names. Names are many but the thing is same. Link layer address, link address, physical address or your MAC address. Physical address and MAC address both are same. So don't get confused over the name. Okay, in our examination also we used to get confused because this particular topic was not told in such a way. Okay, whatever they used to tell, whatever name comes in front of us at that moment, they used to talk about that point only or that name only, but this particular thing was not told to us in this clear manner. Okay, so you have to understand these four are same. Now next is, this is the matter. Now since link is controlled here, the address need to belong to the data link layer. The link is controlled, point to point link or your broadcast link, basically the link is controlled over this DLC, that is the data link control. So here what we are doing, the addressing, what is happening here, since here the link address is everything. Okay, so here since link is controlled here, in this what you have understood, the DLC, data link control, so we are controlling the link, right? So since link is controlled here, the address need to belong to the data link layer. Since you are controlling the link of your address, so it should be of the data link layer. The address should be of the data link layer, that is within your data link layer, right? Now when a datagram passes from network layer, that is it is coming from network layer to your data link layer, right? So when a datagram it passes from network layer to data link layer, the datagram will be encapsulated in a frame and two data link addresses are added to frame header. Since it is coming from the network layer to your data link layer, so it is having the address of the network layer. Now when it is coming to your data link layer, so obviously two headers are joined with the address, so that it will show that this particular datagram is for now it is of the data link layer. So again see, when the datagram passes from network layer to your data link layer, right, to your data, the datagram will be encapsulated in a frame. Why? There is packet and it is coming to your data link layer, then it is getting about frames. So now it is encapsulated in some frame. Why? It is coming from the higher to the lower layers of our OSI model. So obviously there we are in the network layer, we were working with the packets. Now it is working with the frames, so it will be encapsulated in some frames, right? So here what is happening, it is encapsulated in a particular frame. And what is happening, two addresses here, two data link addresses are added to the frame header. Two kind of data link addresses, now they are added with the frame header. Why they are added with the frame header? So that since you are controlling the link of this particular datagram, so you have to understand the address should be of your data link layer, but it is coming from the above layer. Now first of all, you are encapsulating that particular datagram in a particular frame, since here only frames are being worked on. And what is happening next? Two addresses are being added to this particular frame header, which will be of the data link layer, which will show you that this particular datagram or this particular frame is of our data link layer only, right? So this is what is happening here. Now next, these two addresses which have been added here are changed every time frame moves from one link to another. Now since the frame is coming from the layer, above layer, it had been came to your layer, now data link layer. Now what is happening, it is moving from one link to another, that is from one link to another it is moving. So when it is moving from one link to another, at that time what will happen, these two addresses will change. Every time it will move from one link to another, what will happen, obviously the address will change. These two addresses which have been given to the header, that two addresses will change whenever it will move from one link to another. Okay, so this is also a point. Now next is, this is the whole thing, how the addressing goes on. So when it is coming from network layer to your layer, it is in the packet form. Now you are encapsulating it in the frame form, right? Now we are adding two addresses with this particular frame header, which will show that it is of the data link layer. Now these two addresses will change whenever it is passing from one link to another, right? So this is the whole addressing method, what is happening here. Now next is, three types of addresses are being used. Three kinds of addresses are used in case of this data link layer. What are those? First one is unicast, broadcast and multicast. From the name I hope you can understand easily, but still let's see. What is one? First one is, it's unicast. Unicast means I am sending, you are receiving. So I am sending to a particular receiver. Okay, so you can see here that this particular sender, what it is doing, it is sending to this particular receiver, right? So this is the destination is only one. So here what is happening, each host or interface of a router is assigned a unicast address. There a unicast address is assigned to whom? To the host, each host or interface of what? A router. Here we are working with the router, right, which was a internetworking device. So here each host or interface of a router is assigned a unicast address. Whenever we are assigning a unicast address, that means we are telling that it will be destinated to a particular destination, right? So means one-to-one communication. Here one-to-one communication, since it is sending and it is receiving, so one-to-one communication is going. Unicast means uni means one, so unicast means from one to one, right? Now it is frames with unicast address destination destinated only for one entity in the link. Here in the link many entities are there, but it will be destinated to only one entity of our link. So this is about a unicast address. Whenever your router is giving some unicast address to the host, if the host is giving some unicast address to your frame, at that time that will be casted to only one particular entity of the link. Okay, so it is casting and it is going to a particular link, right? So this is what is about your unicast address, right? Next one is your multi-broadcast address. Broadcast means what? Here it is sending to all the entities of the link, right? Each and every entity of the link will receive whatever the host is sending. So host will send to each and every entity of that particular link, right? So one to all communication. Here one to all communication is being done in our broadcast, and a frame-based destination broadcast address is sent to all the entities of the link. Here each and every entity is getting the particular frame. So the host will send whatever frame to all the entities of a particular link. But a twist is that is your multicast. Here you can see multicast also same thing. The host is sending to more than one entities in the link, but not to all, right? So here in multicast, multiple receivers are there, multiple entities is getting the message, but the frame, but what is happening? Not to all, broadcast to everyone. Whenever in our class also, whenever the teachers tell us that yes, you broadcast this message to all over all the people in your class. So in that time, what the person do, he comes and he tells each and every person, he broadcasts the message, right? He tells the message to your whole class. But if the teacher says no, you just tell these things to your classmate or to the people of your particular batch. Okay, so he will do what? He will not tell to the whole class, he will tell to the particular batch, right? That is your multicast. Whenever it is being told that you tell to the whole class, you will just come and you will go and tell to the whole class. That's your broadcasting. But if the teacher tells you, you just go and tell to your particular roommates or your particular batchmates of a particular batch. Suppose some batch have been divided, 3-4 batches have been divided in your class. You just tell that to your particular batch. At that time, you will call the students of your particular batch and you will tell them only, or your particular group, okay, group of your project. So you will tell your project mates about the particular topic. So that is a multicast. You are telling to more than one person, but it is multicasting. Since you are not broadcasting it to the whole class, you are telling that to a particular your group mates, you are telling that one. But when you are telling that to your classmates, each and every classmate, that is broadcast. And if you are telling something to a person who had been, you tell roll number this about this. So that particular roll number person, whosoever is there, you will tell that message to only that particular fellow. So that is your unicast. Okay, I hope you can understand very well now. Now here multicast, one to many communication but not to all. One to many but not to all. Each and every time you can easily just memorize this one like that whenever I have been told to tell any message to a particular person, a particular fellow of roll number this, then it is unicast. I will tell that one to that particular person. Second, when it's multicast, tell this message to your group mates. You will go and tell to the group mates but not to the whole class. That is your multicast. And when it is told that you tell this message to the whole class, you will broadcast that message. That is your broadcast. So this is the way how the addressing is done. That is unicast, multicast and broadcast. Okay. So this is basically the whole thing about the addresses. This type of addresses are being used in your data link, right? Now next is ARP. It's a very important term in data link. That is your ARP. Okay. What is ARP? Address Resolution Protocol. Okay. So this Address Resolution Protocol is a very important protocol of your data link layer. Also the RARP is there. I will tell you next. Now first one is your ARP, that is your Address Resolution Protocol. What it does, it convert an IP address, network or logical address into MAC address, that is hardware or physical address. So here you are getting some address names again. Try to remember what is that. First of all, the IP address. The IP address, what is that? You can take it as the network address or the logical address. So IP address can come in front of you by the name network address or logical address. Okay, so if network address, IP address, logical address, anything comes in front of you, they are same. Okay, now next one is your MAC address. Again, MAC address is what? Physical address, or one more name, hardware address, the address of your hardware. Okay, so this is the particular names. These are the names being given to same thing. These all are same. Link and link layer address, link address, physical address, MAC address, one more name, that is your hardware address. And the IP address can be your network address or your logical address. So ARP, what it does? It converts your IP address to your MAC address, your logical address to your physical address. ARP, address resolution protocol. Now what it does about the ARP? Okay, so this is the thing, the name, then the function. Now computer programs or applications use logical addressing IP address to send or receive messages. Whatever computer programs we use or the applications which we use, what they does, they use logical address, that is your IP address, to send or receive messages. Whenever we are sending some messages or receiving some messages, what the main thing is? IP address. Every time you used to know, used to hear that the IP address of your computer. So what is that IP address? Whenever the sender, that is our computer programs, applications, each and everything, it sends or receives addresses, they are basically the IP address which is being used. But however, actual communication happens over MAC address or physical address, since it is your hardware address. So the main thing, whatever is going on, actual communication is being done between the MAC address, that is your hardware address, right? So this is the whole thing. Here the physical address is the main thing, but what we do, the communication or sending or receiving messages, these are being done by your logical address, but that is your IP address. But whatever thing actually the communication which is happening, that is over your hardware address, that's your MAC address, right? Now to send datagram over network need both logical and physical. When we are sending, so from this you can understand easily, from this definition you can understand that whenever you are sending any datagram over a network, at that time the logical as well as the physical address, both addresses are needed by you to send a datagram over a network. So here logical and your physical, both the addresses are needed. Okay, now next, IP address, what some they are having, so they are made up of some bits. These IP address are made of some bits, right? So how many bits? IP address is of 32 bits, that is 32 bits of is for IP address, right? And your MAC address is of 48 bits, that is 48 for MAC address. These are the number of bits by which they are made up of. So IP address 32 bits and your MAC address is for 48 bits. So these are basically the number of bits by which these addresses are made. In our next classes, which advanced classes, we will see that how this IP address are been written and each and everything about that one. But for now, you have to understand that IP addresses are 32 bits and MAC addresses 48 bits. That's all. ARP enables each host to build a table of IP and corresponding physical addresses. Now ARP, what it does, it enables each host. Okay, so what it enables, that each host will have to build a table. They will be building a table. What kind of table they will be building? This kind of table will have some IP addresses and their corresponding physical addresses. Okay, that is your MAC addresses. So ARP is making the host to make a particular table. That table will have two kinds of addresses, the IP address and their corresponding MAC address. So if a machine is having some IP address, obviously it will have some MAC address also, the hardware address. So these corresponding addresses are being they are written in this particular table that is being made by your ARP. So ARP enables the host to make this kind of table. There the IP address of the machine will be there and the particular MAC address will be there. That is corresponding MAC address, not the MAC address of any other person, other thing. It will be corresponding MAC address. Okay. Now ARP, what it will do, ARP realized on broadcast support from physical networks. So broadcast support from physical networks means whatever physical networks are there, it will relay on what, the broadcasting messages, right? So whenever, I will show you how, but whenever these things are happening, whatever this kind of ARP, what it does, it is basically it relays on the broadcasting messages. Okay, how, we will see now. Now next, ARP is a request and response protocol. How? This is about a request and response protocol, that is ARP request and ARP reply. So two kinds of messages, basically these two kinds of messages are there in your ARP. What are those things? It is a request and reply or request and response protocol. Means something will be requested and you will get some response for this particular request. So ARP is basically a request and response protocol. So this is basically the definition of your ARP. If any place any person asks you about what is ARP, so you have to tell these points in a brief manner, but these have to be told. Okay, in your semester examinations also, if it comes for your 5 marks questions, that time you can give a small definition as well as the working if you want, but for a lengthy question, that is for 15 marks question, you have to give the whole thing, that is about the operation, the whole ARP packet, each and everything, so you will get the full marks, right? So now next we will see about the ARP operation. So you have the knowledge now what is ARP, and basically it is working with the two kinds of messages, the reply and the response and request and response, right? Now how it is working, let's see. First point, ARP maintains the cache table with MAC address mapped to IP address. We know that one, this MAC address and IP address, they are being related. So corresponding MAC address and IP address, they are being sorted in a particular table, okay, cache table. So this is what is happening. So ARP is maintaining a table. It's having a table which is having this MAC address and its corresponding IP address. So there are table is there. Okay. Now host want to send IP datagram to a particular host. Now a particular host wants to send a IP datagram, right? Now what happened? It will check for a mapping in cache table. Now the host want to send a particular datagram. What it will do? It will search the table for what? For the matching address. Okay, for the mapping in cache table, which host it is going to send. So it is going to see the mapping. This address I have, I want to send to this particular host. So by name it will not search for, by the address. So it have the address. Now it will do the mapping. This address I want to send my particular datagram. Now I am checking the particular table and I am finding that whether in the case table there is a corresponding IP address or corresponding MAC address of a particular host which I want to send the message to, the datagram to. Now, if no mapping is found, if no mapping had been done, there the mapping address or the corresponding address is not found, right? If it is found, it will send. But if it is not found, that is the matter. Now what will happen? It needs to invoke ARP over the network. Now what it will do? It will invoke the ARP over the whole network, right? It will invoke the ARP, that is your address resolution protocol, to the whole network. Now what will happen? It does this by broadcasting ARP query onto the network. Now it will send, how it will invoke? It will send a query, that is the ARP query, to the whole network. What it will do? It will broadcast. So I have told you in the previous definition that it will relay on the broadcasting only. So it will now broadcast. What it will broadcast? It is request. It will invoke the ARP. How invoking? Invoking will be done by broadcasting a ARP query. It will send a ARP query to the whole network, that it is not able to find the address, the corresponding address, which the destination address of which the host it want to send. So it will send a query, it will broadcast a ARP query to the whole network. Now what will happen? This query contains the target IP address. This query, it will send the target IP address, it will broadcast the target IP address to whom it want to send. to the whole network. Okay, to each and every host will find this particular query. Now the response will come. So each host receives query, each host will receive the query. It is sending the query to all the hosts in the network. It is broadcasting like this, right, to all the hosts of the network. Now what will happen? This host will check if it matches with each IP address. Now each host will check again that whether this particular query address, whatever address of the destination or the target IP address had been sent, whether it matches with any MAC address of that particular host. So they will start finding that one. Okay, they will start searching, they will start checking within their table. Okay, now what will happen? After this this hosts are receiving and they are doing. Now not matched, if not matched, again no host is matching with that particular cross address. Whatever IP address had been sent, no host of the network is being matched with that particular IP address. Again a bad point. Now what will happen? Then the host sends a response containing its MAC address. Now those hosts, what they will do, they will respond with their particular MAC addresses. It will send their MAC addresses. Since they are not matching with that particular IP address, so they will send their MAC addresses back to the originator of the query. The originator of the query is the host who have first sent the query. They are the other host. What they are doing? First of all, they are getting the query. They are checking that particular IP address within their particular MAC address. If it is not matching with any address, any MAC address of those particular your host, okay, so what they will do, they will start sending some request. What request? Those requests will contain the MAC address of those particular host. Okay, now they are sending their particular IP MAC addresses, okay, back to the originator of the query who have asked them the query, who have given the query, that is the target IP address who have sent. Now what will happen? The originator adds the info content in its response in the ARP table. Now the originator, what it will do? It will again update its table. How it will update? It will now update the table with the response what have been sent to him. This is the whole process of the ARP addressing. It is sending, if matching, then okay, otherwise it will send the datagram. If not matching, it will broadcast the query, that is it will broadcast the IP address to each and every host of the network. Again those particular hosts, they will search that whether it is matching with their MAC address or not. If not, they will give a response with their MAC address to that particular originator of the query, that's the previous host, and that host, it will update his table now with that particular, that will contain those particular responses. So this is the process how this whole thing is going on, that is your ARP addressing, how this whole operation is going on, right? Now after this operation, we will have to know how a packet, this particular packets, this ARP packet, what this packet contains. So this is the particular picture of the ARP packet. Okay, what things are contained within a ARP packet? So first one is the hardware type. What kind of hardware is this, right? Next, protocol type. What kind of protocol is being used? Okay. Next, hardware length. What is the length of the hardware? Protocol length. Now operation. What is the operation? Request. For request it is 1. For reply it is 2. So it will ask you about the operation, whether it's reply or it is request or reply, right? Now next, the source hardware address. What is the hardware address of the source which is originating the particular datagram or your query? Next, source protocol address. It will have the source protocol address, right? Next, destination hardware address. Destination, whichever destination it is sending the datagram, that particular hardware address of that particular destination, it will empty when it is for a request. Okay, why it is empty for a request? When it is asking, it is giving a reply. Now tell me, you have to comment me that why this is happening. Okay, just tell me why this is empty in case of request. I hope you will be able to answer, right? why this is empty in case of request. Now, why this is empty? Destination hardware address, source hardware address, okay. Destination hardware address, empty. Why? Since it is broadcasting the address, okay, it is broadcasting the address to all the destination, to all the host of the network. So it is the request, it is sending the request. So obviously it is sending to each and every host. So no particular address of the destination will be given. But in case of reply, when I am replying, I am giving the reply, that particular address will be there. Since I am sending my reply to a particular host, at that time I am the sender and it is the receiver who I am sending. The originator is now the receiver. So at that particular time I know that I am sending to this particular person. So at that time this will be not empty. But in case of request, since I am requesting to each and everything, it's a broadcast message, so obviously it will be empty. Okay, I hope you have understood now. Now, next is the destination protocol address that will be given. So, this is the whole ARP packet. This is the figure which will show you how the ARP packet is sent and what things are contained within the ARP packet, right? So, this is about your ARP packet, right? Each and everything now you can understand easily why these things are happening and what things are given here. The operation, basically which kind of operation, request or reply, the source address, destination address, their protocol addresses, each and everything is contained within this particular packet, right? Now, next is RARP. Again, since from the name itself you can understand that ARP, address resolution protocol, RARP, reverse address resolution protocol. So whatever thing is happening in the ARP, that is the IP address and your MAC address, IP address to MAC address. Obviously, it will be the reverse one, that is MAC address to IP address. So, reverse address resolution protocol allows a host to convert its MAC address to the corresponding IP address. So, this figure you can easily understand, and if you can remember this, it will be easier for you. So, this is IP address 32 bits and your Ethernet MAC address, that is your 48 bit. What is happening in ARP? IP is changed to MAC, and in MAC, RARP, MAC is changed to IP address. So, this is basically what is happening. So, try to remember this figure. It will be very easier for you. The beats also, as well as which kind of protocol, what it is doing, whatever function it is doing. So, it will be very easier for you. So, now, what we have studied today? First of all, the introduction of our data link layer, the second layer from bottom, and obviously it will transmit the frame. It will be working with the frames, okay, from one node to another. And it will have the framing, physical addressing, flow control, and media access control, and your error control, right? And two links, the point-to-point link and the broadcast link. What were the two sub-layers? DLC, data link control, and MAC, that is your media access control. Now, address, how the address were done. So here the main thing was about the link address, that is the link layer address or your IP address, that is your MAC address or physical address or your hardware address. Next, what was happening, how the things were been done from network layer. When the particular packet is coming to your data link layer, it is being encapsulated in a frame, and next two headers, two particular addresses are being joined with the header of the frame, that is these addresses will be changing whenever it is going from particular, it is moving from particular link to link. Now, next here, three things: unicast, broadcast, and multicast. I think is clear to you. Everything is there. Then ARP, that is, it is changing the, converting the IP address to MAC address. Here, what was happening? These conditions of your ARP, that is for the computer programs. Basically, we are working with the we are working with the particular IP address, but actually the thing is happening with the MAC address. But for a communication of the datagram, when we are sending, so we are needing both of them, that is the your MAC address as well as your IP address. And here the 32 bits and 48 bits MAC address, IP address 32 bits. Again, it will be making a table. ARP enables to make a table, right? The table will having a IP address corresponding MAC address. These two things are being settled there, okay? And ARP is basically a request response protocol, where ARP request and ARP reply, they are two messages which have been saying here. Whatever function is going on, I hope this you can easily understand from this. And the ARP packet and your reverse, that is RARP, that is converting the MAC address to your IP address. So this is the whole thing about the introduction and addressing of your data link layer, and it's a very very important topic of your examinations, any kind of examination. MAC address and your IP address, they will come to all over whenever you are going to study networking. This will obviously come in front of you, so you cannot escape this topic. So try to understand and try to learn each and everything about these two things. Okay, so in next class I will be giving you some more topics of maybe some other subject, or maybe this subject, which will be important to your examinations. And I hope you have been beneficial from these classes, and if you are beneficial, then it is my luck, right? So till then, you subscribe my channel, you can give like, you can give comments. If you have any kind of comments, just feel free to give me your comments. You can ask me questions about this or anything other related to this CSC portions. And if any topic you want me to explain, you can ask me that also. I will explain, I will try to explain that in the next class or any other classes. And till then, just subscribe, like my channel, and take care.